they're providing what the client is asking for, but they really stand for a certain style, and they are like, I would say they are definitely in the top 10 of these Scandinavic design studios.
Add it up.
What's good, everybody, and welcome back to Hyperfocus. You're joining us for the start of season 2 in our brand new studio. We are super excited to be here. It has been one hell of a ride to get to where we are right now with the studio. We're currently improvising a little bit with the background, but we will be working on it and getting something pretty cool, I hope. We're going to try and streamline things over here, but for now it's just really cool to be recording in our own space.
Also, it's not finished yet.
What's not finished?
Our space. I mean, we are looking for creating backgrounds and, so we have a bit more spectacular than, it's nice.
Yes, well, it's a solution for now. We are super excited to be back, and today I am, as you have seen, joined by Jan.
Hi.
It has been a while. You've seen some guests in the videos recently, but
good to be back, actually.
Absolutely, it's nice to be sat back with you, talking about brands, and that is exactly what we're going to be doing today. We are going to be talking about Beatport. Beatport was actually one of the most highly requested videos on our Instagram when we actually asked you guys what you wanted us to review. It has been out for a little while, but we have got the time now to sit down and actually look at it with our eagle eyes and give our opinion. As always, we have not discussed our thoughts on the brand, so it will be the first time that we discuss this in our normal fashion, in the Hyperfocus way. So without further ado, I would like to hand you over to Jan to introduce Beatport.
Yes, thank you, Paul. Yes, Beatport, it's not super fresh, the rebranding. I think it's a few months in now. But we thought, that's still the coolest thing we think is out there at the moment. Actually, I think there's some kind of summer break or something for rebrandings. Is there something like that? I've never noticed it before.
I don't know. When we started this channel, there was like a brand new rebrand every, week, it seemed.
Yeah. Now it's summer break. Or maybe it has something to do with the pandemic. I don't know. But it doesn't mean that Beatport is not worth talking about. It's actually very, very interesting. So let's jump straight in and just some facts about Beatport. So what is Beatport? I guess not everybody is familiar with that brand. I think because we as graphic designers, it's somehow in the nature of a graphic designer that you, at the beginning of your career, work a lot with little record labels and DJs or party events and make flyers and record sleeves and all this kind of stuff. And
the days.
I think that's why
times.
That's why I know Beatport for a long time, because I know some people in the industry, and Beatport actually is the global home of electronic music for DJs and producers and their fans. So it's actually a platform where they can actually release their music. They can also create playlists, and then I think they can also connect them to their computer, so they can, if they have a live set, they can then put the playlist into their computer and start DJing, do their stuff. And it's definitely, I think, at the heart of the whole culture, the whole electronic music culture. It plays a very important role. I know for the DJs, the Beatport charts, for example, are one of the main things. So they don't care about, maybe they would care about the US top 100, but in electronic music they not make it into this chart. But the charts are very important if you make it into the top 10 or even in the top 50 in one of the genres they have. So Beatport founded in 2004. Just to give you some numbers, they have 9 million tracks available on their platform. 36 million annual customers. That's also a lot.
Wow, how much is a subscription?
I have no idea.
Okay, but this is a pretty good business model, right?
Yeah.
Judging on the figures, yes.
And over 80,000 record labels, and and also the artists they're representing are on Beatport. And they haven't done a rebrand since 2013. So this is how Beatport looked before the rebranding. I mean it's a very poisoning green. They had.
Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it. Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of Winamp.
Yeah.
For those of you who are old enough to remember Winamp.
Yeah, very. I don't know. It feels very technical.
Yeah, there's this techie, nerdy kind of side to it. And what was it? 2013. Where were we in 2013? Did we have Spotify in 2013?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not convinced. I have to.
But
check
yeah,
on that.
Maybe Spotify came up at this time. Yeah, but maybe you're right. Maybe not. Definitely not as big as Spotify is nowadays. Yeah. So I mean, when we look at this, I think it was definitely time to do something. Who was responsible for that rebranding? It's actually an agency or design studio called Kurppa Hosk, founded by Thomas Kurppa and Mans Jacobsen Hosk. I'm pretty sure they would. It's not pronounced the right way because they come from Sweden, and my Swedish is not that good. But yeah, it's Copa Hosk. I know this agency for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you're talking about Scandinavic design studios, like the design studios who stand for like this bold, simple graphic design, this consistent language as well. I mean, when you look at other studios in other countries, it's more like they're providing what the client is asking for, but they really stand for a certain style. And they are like, I would say they are definitely in the top 10 of these Scandinavic design studios. Definitely look at them, go to their website. They have great portfolio, great stuff. 60 plus employees and 2 offices. I think the headquarters is in Stockholm, but they also have a studio in New York now. Yeah, and they were actually asked by Beatport to provide like a new visual identity, and also they did an iOS app for them, like a new iOS app. I'm not sure if they had one before. Yeah, I guess.
Which we were not actually able to review in this brand review because you need a subscription, and we were not prepared to subscribe to the app just to review it. So I think we have some screenshots that we're going to go through, so we can kind of give a slightly bird's eye view on things, but we can take a deeper dive into that part of the brand world.
Here, a little overview where they're coming from, and you can see already here the new logo. So I just read that Beatport just asked them to create a new logo, but then they ended up to create the whole visual identity plus the iOS app.
Yeah, because they probably said, can you build a new logo? And they said, no. I would say. We do this ourselves time and time again. As we know, a brand is not just your logo. You've heard this many, many times. So I'm pretty sure they said we have to start somewhere else. And the logo is probably going to be one of the last things that they touch, because they need to refresh and to look at how everything is aligned and the relationships between all the elements.
Yes. So, logo, I mean, they're coming from like a headphone visual they used, and a very techie typeface. I mean, I think 2004, that's where they developed this typeface. I think that was the time when like the Los Logos books were big, and I really see this typeface coming from that age, and I think it was pretty cool actually back in the days to have typeface like this. But today, you're not.
No, we're all about grotesques.
It's all about grotesques.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I really like where this has gone. It's still kept its simplicity. Actually, if we look back at 2004, it was still quite simple, even though that was the trend, to have that kind of techie look to it with these kind of cut off corners. But today, I think it's a nice evolution, right? It's still reminiscent of the beginning, but it's definitely brought it into the modern age.
Mm-hmm. So they're coming from a headphone, simplified it, and can you actually tell me what they were referencing now with their new logo?
Yeah, headphone from the side.
No.
No?
No.
I thought it was a headphone from the side.
No.
Well then, Jan Stein, please tell me.
It's actually it's like a iconification, you can say like that.
Okay.
Simplification of a turntable. This is like the turntable and the arm. How you call the arm? Is where the system is on?
Yeah, it's called the arm.
The arm. I think I've read something different, but yeah, it's not a headphone anymore. It's a turntable now.
Okay, I am surprised. Okay, but I can still see the headphone in it, so it still does something, which is reminiscent of the past, even if that's not what it is. I still like it. Yeah, and some animation. Animation, super important. Always think about your logo not as a static element. You should think about it as multifaceted, which means it can then transcend and move between different platforms and different types of genre, from video to social media to print, all the good stuff. It just works across a complete story.
Okay, so what we have here, like the logo, I think we've seen this sometimes that you create the logo out of like very simple graphical elements, but you kind of do a nice composition with them, which then makes it also unseen. So you don't really have the feeling, oh, this is what everyone else is doing. And I think they did a pretty good job on that. So I kind of like these logos. They're not like too perfect, be in balance and tell a great story, but they're just, from a visual standpoint, they look kind of interesting and unseen, but on the other side are really simple. So
I do like the color palette, actually.
Yeah, it's I think they actually just changed the green, from this more yellowish
the green is nice.
Poisoning green, I don't know how to call it, to a more lime green. I mean, this lime green is quite popular in a tech kind of environment. Yeah. So we see that a lot, but I like it too. It looks also with then just using black and this dark gray. It's really nice. Okay, so we have here some logo variations. So for like sub brands, I would say. Yeah. I don't know. I've not really, and I do not really know what these sub brands are doing, but yeah, it kind of works. I just think this first logo somehow looks a bit different than the others. All right, big part of the rebranding is a new typeface.
Always a favorite?
Always a favorite, and in this case, it's called Ionic. Ionic is from a London-based type foundry called CodeType. So this is not a type they like a customized font for Beatport. It's just a typeface they already offered at CodeType, and it is actually like it's on an intersection between a neo-grotesque font and a geometric grotesque font. And yeah, here another example. This is from the Type Foundry. So how
that is awesome, man.
How this
really, really nice.
Yeah, I mean they designed it in some kind of airport
like
environment.
Baggage stickers somehow.
I mean the neo-grotesque fonts, like the Helvetica is like, I think it's the most famous example for neo-grotesque font. They're often shown in this kind of environment. But yeah, I really like the combination because you have this, like, especially like the numbers and the capital letters are very geometric. But when you look at the capital letters, no, not the capitals, the lowercase letters, they have a lot of detail, they have a lot of character. And maybe that's also an idea because they have a very technical product, but I mean, like always, it's from human, and they want to bring like an emotional touch to it. So, yeah, it's a beautiful font. They have the same. So now we look at a video, like the cool brand, everything coming together, highlight videos. So
let's do it.
Let there be house, and house music was born.
Dope is dope. Hi. The dope is dope. So the people on. There's this time to head. Listen.
All right. Yeah. Mate, that is... we always leave our reactions to the end. I've been very quiet on this video. I've been much more of an observer. But I absolutely love that, man. That is super, super sick. That is... I mean, if I want to put cool into a category, it was right there. That is just a joy to watch. And the fact that the client was actually brave enough to get behind that. I mean, you would imagine that music... Yes, a music company or somebody who's behind the energy of what they actually present and represent would automatically say, let's do it. But it's not always like that.
no.
Especially with client relations. It can be, quite difficult to get your artistic vision forward, but I'm pretty sure what they have done is what they intended to do. And you can see the energy coming through. So I take my hat off to Beatport and to the agency behind doing this, that they actually managed to create something that is, cool and plays out in such an amazing fashion.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks like it was a lot of fun to put this together.
Yeah.
To be honest. But let's just break it down and look through, because we have all the elements which are happening in the video, and we can look at them right now. So we have here, typography, a little bit of illustration, some distortion effects. Looks pretty cool. When I would criticize something, then I would say, I'm missing a little bit like a red line through that. So when we look at here, like there's like a different kind of typographies also they're using. It's not always the Ionic, which is fine. That's more like out of a brand perspective. When I look at visually, I love it. It looks great. Mm-hmm. I'm just thinking, I don't think if this is a poster on the street, somebody would right away see that. Oh, okay, that's Beatport. That's what I'm.
But does it need to be a poster on the street? I think the people who know Beatport go to Beatport because it is Beatport, and I think the expectations of artists would love to be able to see the brand represented. It's a place that they would diverge to.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't think they're trying to pull in new Beatport customers with this. I mean, maybe, but but it's not just through foot flow walking past a billboard that says, buy me. It's word of mouth. It's a snowball,
Okay.
And I think it doesn't need to follow the same rules as how you would commonly class a classic brand or brand strategy rollout.
Yeah, but the thing is, when we go through the next images, it's like, I mean, you can see looks like a nice presentation. They've done to show off the brand you know, to the client. And I really ask myself, because that's what I have not. We will also go later into a few more, like the website, for example. There's not much execution out there where you really can see this coming alive. It's actually on the agency website at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, so we go through here, like, again, posters, very nice, mock-ups. I mean, looks super cool, like, you know, the different typefaces together with the imagery, you know, I really love that. But yeah, I think maybe there needs to be a bit more, some element which somehow, you know, glues it together to see, okay, that's what Beatport is all about. Here's some out of home campaign.
What Beatport is all about is being able to move through genres, right? So how do you find like one shoe fits all when you're talking about, you know, dub, reggae, drum and bass, house music? Like there's so many different visual representations of these music genres. You can't have one thing that is just all connected. Like I think this, you know, they've used a certain kind of color palette to kind of find some kind of divergence to kind of bring them together as one. But I think it has to kind of shapeshift somehow to move between these different mediums.
Yes, I agree 100%. But I still think that there needs more than just the logo to keep it together. Yeah, here again, nice mock-ups.
Very nice mock-ups. I think we have those mock-ups, don't we?
I mean, we cannot really
I don't
blame
think
them
they
for
were
doing
shrink
that,
wrapped.
because
They're not being blamed. I would do the same. I mean, it looks awesome. Whenever you put something on a shrink-wrapped bag, it just elevates the out of it.
yeah. I mean, you can see they use this little element of illustration all the time. Then they have a more expressive and also individual typography, like for big headlines or names they want to write. And then the Ionic typography is then used for more like the classic body copy and informations. At least here is a little bit of the green in there. Looks super cool, you know.
I don't think that was ever produced.
No, none of them.
But I want one.
Not now.
But it looks cool. It looks really, really cool.
Okay, so this is actually how the website looks at the moment.
Okay.
And to be honest, that's maybe where I come from. Also, there's not much left. Because also maybe it's very early, you know. I think the website, before they touch it, it's like the holy grail. So you can see here, that's definitely not the typeface, the new in here, which use. And also, I mean, there are, but it's really just on a few places where you find some of the new graphical elements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's step by step. It looks more to me like an evolution rather than a revolution. Yeah, I mean, do you want to slow down the traffic? Do you want to slow down the interaction with the website?
No.
I don't know.
That's their core product, you know? And it's all about function here and not about looking fancy and cool, you know? That's why I kind of understand that they you know, do not. But then I thought, okay, at least at the About page, you know, they can go crazy there.
Okay.
And then the brand really lives. This is how it looks. Because we've seen that with other brands, you know? They did a rebranding. It looks, on the agency website, looks great. And then you see like their product and you kind of understand, okay, you cannot just, you know, make fancy graphics overall. You know, functionality is more important than putting the graphics everywhere. But then they have at least like a sub-page somewhere where the new brand shines.
So what often happens with a big company as well, especially if you have a lot of information stored somewhere, it has a particular type of framework for the website that it's built upon. And actually to change that is incredibly difficult because you also have to change the backend for the server. So maybe what they've had to do is actually build on top of what they already have. Maybe there's some kind of migration of content somewhere, and then they're going to run like they're running a closed beta somewhere and testing. There's definitely more that you can do, but I think by the looks of it, because that was not a great representation of the brand being placed into a digital product, I think it was a technical problem, and I would expect to see something more coming in the future. I would hope.
But what I found and what I really liked is that they have like a little brand section on their website where you can actually have access to the brand elements. So you can download the typography, you got the color swatches, you can download the logo. Okay, then the app. I think also because this was next to the rebranding, this was a big and important part. Again, we didn't look into the app itself. We just have some screens here. The nice thing here is that actually the new typography is in there.
Okay.
The Ionic, so you can see the difference, and this makes it look already much better than compared to the website.
Yeah, and this is why I think it was a technical problem, because they built this from the ground up, so they can actually use the fonts and test them. As I said, I think it will come.
Yeah, so looking at the app, I think it's all about functionality. I think we really have to have it in our hands and check how the UX is working. It looks slick, and I also like that they just have this green highlight sometimes, so it looks really cool.
Yeah, I also generally like it. I think it's just, if you're going to design an app for this is probably how it would look. I mean, how it would look, as Jan said, we cannot comment on the usability, but from an aesthetic, pretty nice. All right, I think that just about gets us through. It's time for scores. Maybe I'll go first.
I think you should go first.
Because you have swayed me backwards and forwards. I feel like I've been tugged from a heart place. I was here, and then I was here, and now I'm back here again. So yeah, I take my hat off to the process, to the design results, to challenging and actually bringing some really great graphic design and artistic temperament to the table. Awesome. I wanted to give it a super high score. I was like, I'm saving my 10. I've been saving my 10 for a while. I was so close, but yes, the red line that you're talking about is not there. Not sure if it's so important in this context, but it's not there, and I don't feel like it should have been considered. At least I should be able to see something. And the website, I'm making excuses for them because I think it's such a nice design. But if you're going to roll out a complete brand, I think it has to be there. And they may have run into some problems with that, but so on that note, great job, love it. And I'm going to give it a really, really high 8. Yes.
Cool.
That is my conclusion for Beatport. Some outstanding stuff, some excellent stuff, but some stuff that just didn't quite deliver.
I mean, I'm with you, to be honest. So when you see this video, then you get an idea. I mean, this could be like a really fucking great brand, like a 10 brand. But this needs to be more work and to be more translated into the overall experience, actually, everywhere, on every touch point. You cannot just have one video and some nice mock-ups. You need to really, I think there were a lot of posters about like events, I mean, this could be also like a great place where you can then really be more playful with the whole brand and execute, all this like nice typography, graphic design, illustration kind of things. So I'm looking forward to see that, to be honest. And that's why that's one of my favorite design studios, and I like their style a lot. It's super cool when they're able to execute it, and I would give it actually 10, but I can't, as you said, right now. So I give it also an 8.
Wow, okay. We agree once again on the channel when it comes to the brand review.
We need to be more controversial, I think.
Yeah.
Cannot have the same.
Good cop, bad cop. We need a bit of that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that just about wraps it up for the first episode of season 2. We hope you've enjoyed it. We certainly enjoyed putting it together. As always, don't forget to like this channel if you like the video. It really, really helps us to grow and create more content like this. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, and then you get notifications every time we drop a new video. So, until next time, take care.